You can't wait for inspiration, you have to go after it with a club. The proper function of a man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days in trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. But I am I, and I won't subordinate my taste to the unanimous judgment of mankind. A life is not a matter of holding good cards, but sometimes playing a poor hand well. He was a man without a past, whose future was the imminent grave and whose present was a bitter fever of living. Life achieves its summit when it does to the utmost that which it was equipped to do. I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom of me in magnificent glow, than a sleepy and permanent planet. Don't loaf and invite inspiration, light out after it a club. As one grows weaker, one is less susceptible to suffering. There is less hurt because there is less to hurt. I would rather be ashes than dust. I would rather be a superb meteor. The aim of life was meat. Life itself was meat. Life lived on life. There were the eaters and the eaten. One cannot violate the promptings of one's nature without having the nature recoil upon itself. His conclusion was that things were not always what they appeared to be. Therefore, in the nature of things, he would possess an abiding distrust of appearances. He was mastered by the sheer surging of life, that it was aglow and rampant, expressing itself in movement, flying exultantly under the stars. He was a killer, a thing that preyed, surviving triumphantly in a hostile environment where only the strong survive. The wild still lingered in him, and the wolf in him merely slept. Food and fire, protection and companionship worked for him and obeyed him. He was a silent fury who no torment could tame. Deep in the forest the call was sounding. He knew not where or why, nor did he wonder where or why. The call sounding imperiously deep in the forest. Kill or be killed, eat or be eaten was the law, and this mandate down out of the depths of time. I would rather that my spark should burn in a brilliant blaze than it should be stifled by dry rot. A bone to the dog is not charity. Charity is the bone shared with the dog, when you are just as hungry as the dog. For the pride of trace and trail was his, and sick unto death, he could not bear that another dog should do his work. She was thrilling to a desire, squabbling with the dogs and to be avoiding and dodging the stumbling feet of men. I reckon you've called the turn, Bill. That wolf's a dog, and has eaten fish many's the time from the hand of man. And yet he remained somehow different from the other dogs. Buck did not read the newspapers, or he would have known that trouble was brewing, not alone for himself, but for every tidewater dog, strong of muscle and with warm, long hair, from Puget Sound to San Diego. Out of this packet persecution, he learned two important things: how to take care of himself in a mass fight against him, and how, on a single dog, to inflict the greatest amount of damage in the briefest space of time. He became quicker of movement than the other dogs, swifter of foot, craftier, deadlier, more lithe, more lean with iron like muscle and sinew, more enduring, more cruel, more ferocious, and more intelligent. He allowed the master these liberties was no reason that he should be a common dog, loving here and loving there, everybody's property for a romp and good time. Love, genuine passionate love, was his for the first time. I was jealous, therefore I loved. Is love so gross a thing that it must feed upon publication and public notice? It would seem so. He did not playfully shake him, as was his wont, or murmur soft love curses, but he whispered in his ear, "As you love me, Buck, as you love me," was what he whispered. And who knows what romance, what adventure, what love is lurking around the next turn of the road, ready to leap out on us if we'll only travel that far. He loved with single heart and refused to cheapen himself or his love. Their hate bound them together as love could never bind. And from that moment Buck hated him with a bitter and deathless hatred. But especially he loved to run in the dim twilight of the summer midnights. Any man who was a man could travel alone. It's better to stand by someone's side than by yourself. I remembered my days and nights of sunshine and starshine, where life was all a wild street wander, a spiritual paradise of unselfish adventure and ethical romance. The game of life is good, though all lives may be hurt and all lives lose the game in the end. The life that is demanding to be born is limitless. Life, in a sense, is living and surviving. Man always gets less than he demands from life. He who steals my purse steals my right to live, was the reply. Old saws to the contrary, for he steals my bread and meat and bed, and in doing so imperils my life. Growth is life, and life is ever destined to make for light. He was quick and alert in the things of life, but only in the things and not in their significances. He was justifying his existence, than which life can do no greater.